go to the next one, I think, is the one-handed drills. Try to make him catch it with one hand. Cast on his left hand, so he just wanted to use his right hand. You can see that 10th grader there, number, the red jersey, very athletic kid. You know, it just looks so easy to catch. He can catch with either hand. He's going to be good for us next year. Wish we could take that indoor facility with us, but can't. We haven't gotten Devin Funches to donate enough money for an indoor facility. So that's the one-handers. Tried to get him to throw it up a little bit, so they had to go up and catch it one hand. Blue shirt, that's a freshman. Knucklehead that runs in front of the camera, even though you tell him not to, right? You guys got all those. You guys got knuckleheads, right? Yeah, we have them. I think it's universal. So I think the next one is throwing behind. So want to maintain staying in bounds. I think I told them to get off the blue line. The blue line is out of bounds. Some of them don't listen, but we throw the ball behind the receiver so that he has to make an adjustment to the ball. So that was pretty good there. That's a freshman. But try to stay in bounds. So if you have to pirouette and pivot, you pivot. If not, you know, reach back and catch the ball behind. I usually throw it a little further behind. As you can see, he's pretty close to him. All right, I think the next one, I think there's only one or two on here. Some of the younger kids, coach can't catch either. That's just a one-shot flipper. All right, the next drill that I do, okay, no, which is pause now. Okay, so this drill, have the coach stand directly behind the receiver, and the first drill that I do, like I said, this is at least one day a week that we do this. So I try to get them off of the boundary, all right, and we used to say for our fades, 2 yards from the sideline. Now, because there's so much more athleticism in the defensive backs and so much press coverage, we want them to be, you know, 3 to 5 yards off the boundary because they get knocked out of bounds all the time. You're going to see the Purdue drill that I have for the defensive backs, but it's also good for the receivers of getting off press. So the first drill is I'm going to stand directly behind the receiver, and I'm going to throw it over his inside shoulder. And the coaching points on this is I tell them, don't look for the ball right away. Don't start running and look for the ball. Run, I'm going to throw the ball, then I want you to look for the ball and track the ball with your eyes. So, which is pull it up. Yeah. So the first one is catch it over your inside shoulder. If it's underthrown, again, the coaching points are you have to check up and go up and get it. Okay? It's not necessary that you catch it like this over the shoulder with your pinkies together, but I just want him to catch the ball. Bad thrown ball, or the kid ran faster than the coach was used to. Okay? That's one of our leading receivers there, the gold. Junior, knucklehead still, right? He's going to get intercepted down here. He needs to go over the shoulder and catch it. Younger kid, a sophomore, that's a pretty good athlete. So we do this drill over the inside shoulder, then I have him do it back the other way. I didn't film both ways on this this day. That's a great catch for him because he usually can't catch. That's why he's a DB.
So every catch is great for him.
Huh?
So every catch is great for him.
Every catch for him is great. Number 25. Yeah. All right. So I think the next one is
variety of wide receivers.
the next one is I call it the drift drill. So they're gonna, and we do it both ways. So I want them to start further away from that I don't even know what that is, a blue soccer line, lacrosse, something, I don't know.
Field hockey.
But field hockey. So you saw this number 7 there did a pretty good job. So I want them to adjust to the ball. Every ball is not going to be thrown perfect, so I want them to run further away from the end line, and then when they pick the ball up, I still want them to catch it over the inside shoulder. So drift, 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 catch the ball. If it's underthrown, go up and get it and high point it. Okay, pretty good job there, but he ran out of bounds. That's a freshman. And I would yell at these guys here, tuck it away after you catch it. You know, they're just trying to recycle back and get in the line. See, I told you 25 couldn't catch. Every catch is a gift for him. So trying to stay in bounds, but still tracking it over. So we're drifting, drifting, drifting. He just took a play off. He's going to be a guard next year, the green shirt there. You'll see him later. He can't catch it. That's a gift. Okay, so underthrown, he shouldn't have waited for it to come down. All right, the next one I think is baseball turn or roll around. So find the ball, wrong shoulder, coaching points here. You're going to see a couple of guys, they don't get the upfield leg upfield. So here, all right, I want to roll the head around as fast as I can and continue running after the football. So a lot of them are going to turn and slow down and not take a great stride. All right, not bad for a sophomore. Here goes knucklehead. So the mistakes the young guys, so like right there, he didn't listen to the drill. He's supposed to find the ball here and then roll his head around, okay? Similar to a center fielder rolling the head around. All right, didn't adjust as much to the ball because I threw the ball out of bounds more. Here's the guard. Yep.
That's the reason why.
That's the reason why, right. Another great catch by 25. He must have known he was on film that day. So we do this going both ways. The other drill that I do, and that's the young sophomore. He tracks the ball, but he's a very good basketball player too. So the next drill that I do is just a speed catching drill. You've probably done this before. Back in the old days, we used to make them straddle the goalpost and catch it like this, right? So they could crush their fingers against the goalpost, right? So we just up, turn, catch the ball. When I start this drill in the two-a-days, I give them a lot of time, all right? So hit, they turn, I throw it. Then it gets to be where hit, right? And then it gets to be hit. So trying to get them to react quicker, coaching points here, and you're going to see one of them, all of a sudden he remembers, oh yeah, my hands are supposed to be up here. Like, 58 there, he was one of our leading receivers, but so is that guy, but look how low his hands are. So don't stay with your hands here. I'm catching a curl or a dig route. I don't want to have my hands down here and have to bring them all the way up to catch the ball. So their hands should be right here when they turn around. So the kids that have done a lot of the green and yellow shirts.
Coach, do you make a difference if you tell them left or right?
I don't. Sometimes when I do it, I'll tell them turn to the left, turn to the right. I know the NFL combine drill, they make them do it a certain way. You ever see them make them stop? Oh, no, you turn the wrong way on the pass catching drill where they have to catch and drop, run across the field, catch it, drop. Okay, so. All right, the next drill I do a couple of different ways. So I'll either do this as the end of a square in route or the end of a curl route. I don't know, you guys call it a dig. But if I do it as a straight curl route, I'll position myself over here, throwing the ball. So I want them to finish the curl by planting and coming back to the quarterback. And the way I start teaching it is, if the ball's not in the air when you're coming back, to continue to work back to the quarterback. So sometimes you're going to see the ball thrown shallow, short, it's going to bounce. The kid gets pissed off, and then I yell at him because they didn't keep working back to the ball. There might be a defender that's close to them, and I'm trying to simulate that by, okay, the ball's not thrown yet, keep working back. So. And a lot of these younger guys didn't get it, rounded it too much, so I'll yell at them, plant, come back to the ball. Not bad on him. Rounded it, banana route, but very athletic, so was able to catch it. Not bad on him. When I do this by myself, then I will try to get them, after they make the catch, to turn upfield and get a yak. But, see, he's going to get mad because he ran a bad route, and I threw the ball where it was supposed to be thrown if he would have come back to the ball. But we never had any troubles with him. I don't know. Coach might have shown a block or something out of him. He would only hit with his right shoulder.
I think I did, yes.
Right shoulder guy. Like, Moet, you don't have a left shoulder? Okay, pretty good by him. Maybe we should have thrown the ball to him. No. All right, so the next thing you're going to see is make them drift. So I do this both sides of the ball, and like I said, I only have, maybe 10 or 11 guys total. So now we're going to do, they're going to run the curl, all right, and the sprint out drill you're going to see a little later. Somebody's in the passing lane of the quarterback, all right, so I want them to drift, lazy effort. So now he stopped running the route good, just doing the hop step, not coming back to the ball. So they're supposed to plant and come back to the ball if the ball's not there. So what I do is I just give them a signal, in or out, okay? He wanted to go in, he went in at first. A lot of the sprint out, he just went right away because I've been breaking the guys that way, so he's just trying to jump it. So on our sprint outs, we try to teach the kids not to come inside so much. On the curl route, the curl wheel is one of our big sprint out routes. It's very hard for the quarterback to run towards the boundary, get his shoulders square, and then the curl route be 10 or 12 yards inside of him. So trying to get them to get away from doing that. Didn't come back to the ball, so he should have planted and come back to the ball more. All right, the next one, I was going to start my watch. How am I doing on time?
15, I think.
You got to see the guard. There you go. Yeah, you'd be a good trapper, wouldn't you? All right, so I think the rest of these are very similar to that.
For sure he has hands?
15 minutes left.
He's got strong hands. He doesn't have soft hands. He doesn't have,
They call stone hands.
All right, so,
Like it, I'm
all right. I do this both with DBs and wide receivers. The W drill, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but coaching points we're looking for is to drop the hips, okay? Make sharp plants around the cones, and usually if I have somebody to help me, I'll have them throw. This is the guy who likes to hop, okay? Hurt his knee one time by running a comeback out by just hopping. Not bad for a tall guy. So coaching points are dropping the hips, pumping the arms, chopping the feet in the cut, plant, and make a good 90-degree cut. Not like that, rounded it. All right? He's an outside linebacker, probably a guard next year if you saw those hands. All right? Knucklehead, okay, had him in track. And he's actually a junior, but we put him down on the junior varsity because they needed players. And he did well there, but not nearly as skilled as some of the other kids. You can see just by his so we have him do this both ways. The kid's a junior. He's actually pretty athletic. I don't know if this is the last one. All right, just going the other way. Now you can see, oh man, you're really rounding it. You're not planting. You're not dropping the hips as much. Mr. Hopper came from a different school. Must have learned that at the other school. Can't get him out of that. For a tall guy, he makes nice cuts. and he can catch the ball well. Same with him for a tall guy, makes nice cuts. Good athlete, but this guy's pretty lazy normally. That was pretty good for him. And there's number 25. Yep. Now this young man, he was in our spring class, and then he decided he wasn't going to play football. Came to our 7-on-7 in the summer, and decided he wasn't going to play football. Then after about the third game, he said, oops, I made a mistake. Can I come out? And so we said, sure, but you have to be on junior varsity. So we put him on junior varsity, and they needed players, so they played him at offensive tackle. He's a receiver. So they said, you want to play? That's what you have to play. You have to play. So we made him do his penance down there on the JV, and then we brought him up, I think about the 6th or 7th game of the year. So hopefully he'll come out and stay out next year. But if not, we coach who shows up. That's what our motto is. We'll coach who shows up. I think this is a real quick one. All right, so that's back to the clip. Can you get the other one up for me, John? So I think we showed a little bit of this yesterday with Coach Harrington, it might have been, but during double sessions, because we run sprint outs and bootlegs so much and screens, do the, no, let's do the one that says sprint out. Yeah. So in the fall camp with no pads, we start off with two sets of bubble cones on either side. And our favorite route is a smash route with our sprint out. So the slot's going to run a corner or a flag route, and our outside guy is actually going to run, he's supposed to run a comeback out. So what he's supposed to do is, I have these cones, and they vary depending on the down and distances, but we want them on the outside to run like they're going deep. So we want them to plant like they're running to the corner, and we got this drill going both ways. So camera person was a little confused, but we're sprinting out left and right with two quarterbacks throwing the same route. So very bad route. He's supposed to be coming back to the ball right there. That's that sophomore that's he's a linebacker. So the outside guy is pressing up, breaking towards the corner, then coming back to the sideline. Inside guy is running a post corner or a flag route, and then the quarterback's supposed to read. So this is just on air with the cones. We set the cones out for this route and the curl routes because we want the kids to learn reference of where they are to the sideline. Not a very good hustle there. Kicker, that's our kicker who thinks he's a quarterback. You saw how that throw was. So after the season, this is our special teams coach right here. The dad asked him, so I could have my son go to some quarterback camps during the winter. He said, no, go to every kicking camp he can because he's not going to play quarterback. So, and he's a really good kicker, but he's not a good quarterback. So the next route on this, I think it's like 3 minutes, is we do the curl route. So the outside guy's going to curl, the inside guy's going to run a bench, a flat, and up. Same type of drill. We have two quarterbacks. I think yesterday you might have saw the one with 3 quarterbacks. So right now we have a slot to the right and a slot to the left. Huh?
Just about benches in the team zone. You have more benches on the opponent's team zone.
Well, yeah, because we have soccer, so they keep moving them over here for soccer, and we have such a small squad. We don't care how many are on our side. Our kids don't sit on the bench during the game or at halftime. They all stand up.
Oh, okay.
Hold the water bottle.
Stop for coach says.
Must be getting some coaching points. Did we change the route yet? I think we're going to change the route to the curl route, maybe. I don't know. All right, so we're going to try to get to the curl one. curl wheel. Coaching point here, we tell this guy, look at the quarterback on the bench route, on the sideline route. A lot of teams that we defend, if this guy's not looking, he's just running there right away, we know there's not a flat threat. So, you know, why would you want to, you know, spin down and jump the outcut? So we tell him, give a look at the quarterback as he's running the sprint out drill. So the defender, you might draw him up on the curl wheel. Is that the same equipment?
No, it's just 3 minutes.
That's a one. All right, so here's the next one. You know, kind of rounded the curl route out, probably too far inside. I think I still had the cones from the corner route, so probably should have had the cones here more, so he's coming back to see how far the quarterback is sprinting out. I think this is day one of doubles, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So
We're
this
never
is
running the curls deep enough when we started.
Yeah, and a lot of times they don't run it. That's pretty good curl route. Ran it narrower, didn't come in as much, and he got more depth. Couple seniors there that we had never had in camp before. They came from different schools, so trying to work on coaching points. Oh, Ryan made the clip and he quit. I think that's the end of this. We're gonna go to the sprint out with team screen drill on there. I'm just gonna do those. Coach, we didn't get to these yesterday for you. We were talking about different drill aspects and concepts. We screen a lot. I apologize for all the kids being in here, but this is a team screen drill. So we're into fall camp, we have shells on, so we're not fully padded. So we're working on a team screen drill with on air, just working on the different aspects of, you got to chip, we might have an end in on each side, you got to chip the end, quarterback's got to get his 5 + 2, draw them in. So just working on those coaching points. Receivers are either supposed to run off like a fade or stock block. Is that the same one?
Yeah.
Down to go to the next one?
You did, but, yeah.
All right, so working on hitting the inside part of the man, chipping, working on the line, and I'm standing over here to see if they're coming up field, or they coming flat down the line like we want them. And Coach Erstein's back here watching. You know, are they rack killing? He's got you know, this guy going almost immediately, and then yell at him for not hustling. Actually, that's pretty good.
Quarterbacks aren't getting deep enough drop when they start. They always want to rush it to get the ball out there. So drop the 5, stop, and then drop 2 more.
We send 4 guys out on our screen. The tackle will block, and he's the kick out. The guard, play side guard, will be a lead. They'll look to lead the play. The center's looking to seal to the inside. And then we'll have the backside guard actually get a little depth, and he comes back. We call it a rack kill, but he's looking for the defensive end, retracing. Trying, he sniffed it out, he found the screen. Here he comes to tackle us for a 2-yard gain, and boom, we got him.
So he's going to come back this way.
He's,
and
that's
rack kill.
the poor effort by him. He needs to run, but
I'll go to the next one.
we're ready to start.
Yeah, think this is
You
another.
wanna go on with full team or something?
Yeah.
It's
This
the
is
same, it's the same clip, George.
Huh?
It's the same clip. There you go. This next
It's
one.
all Afghanistan landscape.
1,001, 1,000. Oh, a little too close
And
there.
I think we're working this both sides of the ball.
Right and left.
Yeah. Because that clip was kind of in between. A little, everyone's firing up their.
Which one are you looking for, Coach?
I was just trying to find the full team.
Full team?
Is it a different, I think it's a different clip.
Give a couple minutes.
So those are some of the you know, team concept passing drills, individual drills that we do. I thought it was a totally different clip.
Team drill, first D. There you
Yeah,
go.
it says here. So I can't remember if this is the same day or not, but so then we put a team out there, a defensive scout team against the, and when we do the sprint out drills, we'll incorporate, first of all, just almost like a 7-on-7. So we'll put defenders out there, and then we're, you know, linebackers and defensive backs, and work on our sprint out reads, sprint out switch, and coach developed this sprint out passing concept, and the original was the wide receiver, the X, he ran a streak, the Y, which was the tight end, he ran an arrow to the flat, and the backside Z ran a post. So then sprint out switch became the outside guy and the number 2, so the X and the Y switched responsibilities in the route. So that's why we call it sprint out switch. And we pretty much moved it to a slot from just a spread formation with a tight end and a flanker. So the switch, the slot runs the deep route, the corner, and the X receiver runs the smash or the comeback out. In the 4 receiver set, we also run a 86 smash where the kid actually just runs the hitch, but we like to run it out of that switch route look because we feel it pushes the corner, makes him make a tougher decision if he thinks that the number 1 guy is going deep, and then he comes back to the ball and sits down. And it's a sprint out, it's a longer pass play, so it takes longer to develop. Well, this is primarily the same drill with defense. We do it a little tougher. This might be the sprint out drill.
No, this is Coach.
Is this still, so then it's incorporating motion into our screen drill. We also incorporate motion into our sprint out passing. So we would start with, you know, a spread formation, a tight end and a swing back here, or a slot and run motion across. We don't usually do it with sprint out this way with a tight end, so probably be a tight end here and a swing back here and a split end away, run the motion, and then run our sprint out or run our. Not enough of a chip there, but you see the 6'5" guy's able to get his hands on the ball. Just going too slow. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think we got about a minute left or something. Any questions or comments you guys want to? Yeah.
So earlier in the presentation, when you were talking about the different routes you do in pre-practice, you said in camps or whatever, you do the 2-a-days, and usually the tight ends would go to.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So how often do you then incorporate them to the passing game, like in terms of practicing these catches?
Some days I would take them with the pass catching drills. Probably not enough.
Would it be
Too
like?
much.
Probably too much. If we're gonna do that.
Too much.
We take him in the Skelly period right now.
The Skelly period when he's doing, you know, line blocking for pass pro and sprint out blocking, then we take him. But our field is set up so right behind the camera, so that end zone down there, that's a track area for high jump. This area down here is all turf. So he's over here in the grubber zone. So sometimes if I get a soccer net, I can put it over here while coach is doing running back plays and drills over here, and the gauntlet things over here. He puts his pads over there, so they can switch back and forth. So you know, we're able to do it pretty effectively.
Yeah, they do a good job.
All right.
Good luck, young man.
That's true. That's true.
You need overhead-Projekte?
I do.
Perfekt. So ganz kurz, 1 Minute für den Aufbau. Vielen Dank an Coach Davis.
So einfach.
All right, we have internet. Yay!
Working.
Working so far.
No.
While this clip is running, thanks for getting up. I didn't even have to have the lobby give me a wake-up call. I think I'm acclimated to German time. I woke up at 5 a.m., no alarm. It was good. It was good. So, and hopefully, because I uploaded a bunch of clips last night that we shot, and then some game clips for the second session on turnovers, takeaways. But what this is this is a high school indoor facility, believe it or not, in a community near ours that we got to use. We traded them. They didn't have a pool, and this was the week of our finals, so we got to use their facility. So it's a tremendous facility. One of their donors from this school built it. Gave the money to the school to build it. So this is a little bit late into. We do a 2-line passing drill when we're outside right here because of space. We're just doing one side. So I missed the first drill. I think there's a couple of them in there, but on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, especially Thursdays, because we play Fridays, we start with our receivers and the quarterbacks 2-line passing drill. So basically, what we do is we have quarterback, maybe around 10-yard line, one around the 40, and the athletes line up on the hashes, and the quarterbacks are just warming up their arms. They start with just running a fade, nice and easy, throwing the ball. They run down to the other quarterback, give him the ball, get in the other line. So we're just swapping lines, switching lines. So this is the second catch that we do, the slants. So we're just warming up, catching slants. But while this is going, and I'll switch the clips as we go on from a couple other drills, just want to talk about how we start, and we practice 4 days a week. Okay, game on Friday. When we play Saturday, we practice 5 days a week. So Tuesday is our offensive day. During camp, we have 2 weeks of double sessions, and we do the traditional double sessions. So the kids are in at 8 o'clock, mostly dressed, hopefully, and we have a meeting from 8 to 8:30, 8:45, and day one, we do offense install. So day one, offense install for me with the receiver. So I have all the split ends and our swing backs. So it'd be like your flankers and your slots. Because we have a 2-back offense, I don't take the tailbacks and upbacks with me on pass catching drills. So depending year to year, I may have, on the varsity squad, I may have 5 to 12 kids that are swing backs and split ends. So the first thing we do is we work on stance and start. So when we're in our spread, which is like a pro formation that you would know, the swing back's off the ball, split end is on. But we start with stance and start the first day. So the leg closest to the ball. So there's the ball, leg closest to the ball. We're going this way. That's the one that's up, slightly turned in, and looking down at the ball, hands in a ready position, and we just try to get the kids away from too elongated of a stance, hands down low, weight not on the front foot. A lot of them want to have the weight on the back foot. So those are the basic things we do the first day, stance and start. The coaching things that I look for in those situations are that they don't drop step or false step. So we get a lot of young kids that want to false step when they run the route. So we work on getting the weight, get that foot turn, getting the weight on the instep, the inside part of the foot, hands in a ready position, weight loaded on the front foot so I can push with that foot and step off. Fortunately, a lot of my kids run track, so they get in the starting blocks and they understand about pushing off of both feet, and especially that front foot. So we try to get them to push off of both feet, but make that step so we can start our routes. So that's day one. We just line up, how many I have, we line up, 4 or 5 yards apart, give a cadence, usually I'll have a ball over here, and I'll snap the ball whenever, so I'm trying to get them to look down the line at the ball. One of the other things that we sometimes have trouble with is when we do a lot of motion. So the swing back or the fullback's going to go in motion, getting them used to going away from the ball. So if they're in a slot formation to this side, there's the ball, and this guy's going in motion here, he wants to listen for the snap count, if he remembers it right, and then sometimes he cuts up too early. So if they're coming to our bench, we usually have a coach there with a clipboard or something and tells them, okay, you can go. If the crowd noise is louder, then try to use that signal. The next thing we do is our stalk blocking, and very much similar to our tackling drill, we pair up with somebody similar size, height, weight, and jerseys and helmets. We fit the first day just like the offensive linemen do. And by the way, we have tight ends, but during double sessions, they go with the O-line. They go with the O-line because they have to learn all the blocking schemes. We have sometimes had great split ends. Right now, Aaron Burbridge, he's injured reserve with the 49ers. He was one of our best blocking split ends, but he was a 6'2", 190 pounds in high school. So with him, no change of formation. 2 tight ends, double tight we call it. He stayed in the game because he could block, and it's a great weapon to have to be able to come off in a tight set, 2 tight ends on the passing attack. So we just work on the fit. So we get pair them up, and they get the fit, all right. And all they're going to do is heels closer together, feet apart, and just like your alignment, get the fit, work on driving the sternum, driving the breastplate. In our high school, if you stay attached to that breastplate downfield, okay, and drive the man, you're not going to get called for a penalty. You're not going to get flagged. Huh? Feet before hands, and we talk about that in every drill that we do. Feet first, so we get them in a fit, down low, and just work on that. Then what we do is we take one of the pushbacks, and some of them have the hand that goes in. We just have them hold the pushback, and then we have them come off the ball. The defender will be, 6 to 7 to 8 yards off, make him backpedal to start, then come up, grab the pushback and do the same thing. So one of the other drills that I do with the kids as they get the pads on, sometimes I do it with the pushback or just with the shoulder pads, and they've changed the rules in our state. So the beginning of two-a-days in August, when we start our season, we wear helmets and shells, they call it, just shoulder pads, shorts. A lot of the kids will wear the compression shorts, but we're not supposed to have full pads on because the first couple of days of contact, they don't want us having full contact, even though we do. So we just don't take guys to the ground. You're still going to do the same type of contact drill. So when we have the shells on, then we usually get the pushbacks out of the way, and we work on, okay, press man coverage, balls run the other way, I'm going to fade him and run off and try to get him to run with me, knowing that somebody's going to yell run, and I'm going to have to block him eventually. Zone coverage, he's off, I'm going to run right at him if ball's coming my way, and then start to break down, 2 to 3 yards away from the defender unless we see him trying to move towards the ball. So I'll do a drill with all the split ends because they're usually the widest out. The slots, I'll work from the hash if we have a slot formation, and have a ball carrier and tell them to run the ball outside the hash and have the defensive back go one way or the other to try to make the tackle, and have us working on that fit, and then just ride the guy whichever way he wants to go. Was at one clinic at the University of Michigan shortly after Harbaugh came there, and their receivers coach talked about stepping on the toes of the defender. You know, really haven't tried that, but that is one method of trying to get right on top of him, stepping on his toes, getting on his breastplate, and pinning him to the ground. So we work those two scenarios about the ball coming to. If the ball's going away from us, then we work a scenario of if I'm man coverage and he's pressed, then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna foot fire, I'm gonna, you know, club and rip by him and try to get him to go with me. If he's playing off man, if he's playing zone, then I'm gonna run a quick slant because I know the ball's going away and I'm trying to get to the safety to block the safety. So those are the drills that we do. All right, so this is a 10th grader, the red-shirted guy. He's 6'5", about 215. Starting to come on, plays outside backer and split in and tight end for us. Jen, sideways down. Up. It's another sophomore, didn't play a lot on offense, but we make all the backs and ends engage in this. We're probably doing special teams at the other end of this field, so a lot of the skilled kids are down there. This next kid, this is one of our fullbacks, our up backs, and we do throw a lot to the up back. So we're working on the same, just a slant move, working on a little bit of a stutter, foot fire, no defender, so just on air. I think the next one we do is a fade. No, hitch. So coach likes to do fades, then we do, what do we do next, curl? Slants, curls, square ends. And when we do this drill, opposite directions, when you run to post or square ends, alternate so you don't run into each other, you know, so we have to remind the kids that. So just warming up the quarterbacks, defensive back, can't catch, see number 25 there. So these are the drills. So what I'm looking for is, okay, why'd you have to drop step there, Delwan? Why'd you drop step? If you're gonna foot fire, you still need to come off the ball. Those are the things that we're looking for. Fullback, not as bad, but he can catch the flat pass, but he's not too good at the hitches and fades. And then, there he caught a good slant there. I think the next one's a fade. Even if you got a cast on your hand, these two guys had casts, but we still expect them to catch the ball. Don't always do it, right? But coaching points when we see things like this is if the ball's underthrown, why are you waiting for it? The defender's going to go get it. Stop, come up and high point the ball and catch the ball high. All right, I think I got. All right, this is a drill that I do at least one day a week. This is the. How do I get it to loop again?
It's gonna loop, you just got a long clip.
Huh?
You just got a long clip.
Okay. Well, that's okay. No. I'll go backwards on it. So this drill is which does pause on this one?
Down. Yeah. Go to the next drill.
This is the last one, I think. So what I do is you notice the soccer goals in front of the. I think that's the last one. It's like 5 minutes. So what I do is use the soccer goal, put it in front of the goal post, or if it's moved to a different place on the field, then we just go there. So I use the soccer net in case the guys drop the balls, they don't have as far to go. I usually have at least one quarterback with me. If not, I'm throwing it, you know, bag of 4 or 5 footballs. The first one they start out is maybe running along the edge of the goal line or the edge of the field. Try to keep them to run one of the lines. I don't care if it's the soccer line at the goal set to this side. But the first drill we do is we want them to catch the ball above above the shoulder pads with both hands. So they're gonna run across and catch both hands. I don't know if we got a lot of these. So they go through both sides. I think the guy that's throwing this is one of the JV coaches. He's actually was too close at the beginning and throwing it too hard, but they got to learn how to catch it, even if it's fast. You know, our quarterback had a pretty good arm, but he wasn't throwing as hard as this guy was throwing. So what I do when I do it just with myself and a lot of these other red and blue shirts, these are younger kids that came up for the playoffs, so that's why we have so many of them. They do this, they'll go all the way from left to right, then they'll end up on the right side coming back doing the drill the same way. So the first one through is above the shoulders, both hands. Okay, then what we do, I think the next one is going to be below the waist, trying to get the pinkies together, get them to bend, you know, and not catching it like this, but using the hands to catch the ball.
Coach, how close do you put a throw to the line?
Well, he's closer than me. If I do it at the goal line, I usually have the quarterbacks or myself stand about the 10-yard line.
Okay.
And with the quarterbacks, they want to be lazy, you know, they just want to throw it. But what I tell them is give each kid a set hit and use their 3-step drop like they're throwing a crossing route. The other thing is I like to have the quarterbacks get closer to this goal on the soccer goal, so they're actually working on 3-step drop and throwing across the route, so they have to learn how to get that foot out in front of the receiver so they're not thrown behind. And have to keep on them because they think this is just a time I can sit here and BS and talk with my other buddy and throw the ball. All right, so I do it both ways. You know, up above, I do it below, then I do one hand, you know, and all the young kids are, do I have to catch it with my left hand? Yeah. What if a defender's got this right hand pinned and you're right hand dominant? You just got to learn how to catch with your left hand. So, I think there's another clip on here, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I want to show you this one because this is the kid that's going to Notre Dame to play linebacker, but he's not a great pass catcher. He does not catch the ball well down here. So you saw what he did. He came across and then he tried to catch it like this. That's the best way he caught the ball. So we tried to tell the quarterback, throw him the ball up here. Throw him the ball up here. I was listening to Baylor coach one time talk about he had a couple kids that they couldn't catch the ball come across the middle. So what do? 9 route. I'm just going to throw you a fade because that's the way you can catch the ball. So we know he can't catch the ball well like that. I still want to make him practice trying to catch it because every pass is not going to be perfect. But we know if he's getting a crossing route, we tell the quarterback, throw the ball up here so he has a better chance of making a play. Okay? So now they're doing, you know, below the waist and trying to get him to bend. Not just a waist bend like that, but bend down with the knees and the ankles. Okay, I think that's the top of the clip again. You can see him. I think these are a few more of the younger kids. And you can see how close the coach is. I usually go back a little further, but the field was, you know, full 100-yard field, but we had a lot of things going on. This is pre-practice right now for this day that we're practicing for the playoffs. But at home we have a lot more space. We have the half circle end zone beyond the goalpost turfed, and that's where you saw those yellow squares that Coach Herstein had.